And he walks with me, and he talks with me. He tells me I am his own. And joy we share as we tarry there. None other has ever known.
Beautiful. You may be seated. I don't know about you, but I cannot believe it's the third Sunday of July already. And here we are still immersed in this month of understanding. That's the goal, and it is a treasure to understand. Today's talk title is Intuition is God Talking to You. Now, I had great fun researching this talk, and I came across this quote by Dr. Wayne Dyer. Now, Dr. Wayne Dyer, I had great honor of getting to know. He was a member of our Unity Church of Maui congregation. He lived on Maui many years towards the latter part of his life, and then he'd do all those telethons and write all those books and everything. But what a wise man. He gave so much in his life. And he said, if prayer is you talking to God, then intuition is God talking to you. I love that, because just aligning our instinctive knowing with messaging from the divine, from God, is very powerful. For we know in prayer, we're not so much talking to God as saying to ourselves conditions we want or conditions we are ready to let go of ourselves, because we never change God, we're changing ourselves. But we allow this important aspect of spiritual understanding. We've been talking this month about spiritual understanding, that deep connection of knowing that we discover with our prayer, our meditation, our turning within. And spiritual understanding is different from that intellectual understanding or the egoic understanding. And it's this spiritual understanding is where the flow of divine guidance comes in the form of intuition. So I'm going to turn to co-founder of Unity, Charles Fillmore, and he says this about spiritual understanding. Spiritual understanding is the ability of the mind to apprehend and realize the laws of thought and the relation of ideas one to another. Again, this is a powerful thing for us to know, that our spiritual understanding is our ability to discern between one thought and another. I don't know about you, but sometimes I have a thought that can come out of left field, and it takes me into a direction that looks more like poor me, or not enough, or fear, restriction. And being able to discern, is that a true thought? Is that a loving thought? Is that a supportive thought? Or does that thought, maybe not so much in balance? And when we turn, it is this spiritual understanding within us that is that place where we can have that direction, that ability to know what is ours to know, and what we can just, that thought, I don't have to give any attention to that thought. Because we have 60 to 90,000 thoughts a day. So we're going to have a stream of all kinds of thoughts. It's good that we have a Geiger counter, spiritual understanding within us to discern what thoughts should we give our energy to, and those we should just let fly on by. I turned to the wisdom of May Rowland. May Rowland I love the Women of Unity. And May Rowland was the head of Silent Unity for many years. And I did not get to meet May, but everything I've read about her, she was a very powerful woman and so wise. She says, whatever your need, your first need is for understanding. Then other things will follow. So that's how important understanding is to us. If we want anything in our life, absolutely anything in our life, first we have to have understanding. That's the foundation on which we're going to build and do whatever it is we're going to do. And certainly, we do a lot. We're doers. But we need to understand. I turned to the great wisdom of one of the greatest scientists of our common era, and he was also a great spiritual explorer. And he found great truth in spirituality. Albert Einstein says, every man knows that in his work he does best and accomplishes most when he has attained a proficiency that enables him to work intuitively. That is, there are things which we come to know so well that we do not know how we know them. This happens in all areas of our life. Because like for an instrument, for instance, if we practice the scales on the piano and we practice and practice and practice, at some point we begin to play and we're not thinking about what keys we're pressing. We're in the flow and we're working intuitively with the music. And then you can start creating your own music. It's also true. I learned to drive on a stick shift car. You know? That old kind. And boy, in the beginning, it was like, I'm never going to learn how to do this because the car only goes, okay, you know? But then later on, it's like, well, did you put your foot on the clutch? I don't know. You just get into an instinctive knowing of what to do and how to do it. This happens in how we communicate with each other or how we take time to be with a 5-year-old. Now, if you think about what you're supposed to say when you're talking to a 5-year-old and how you're going to not have much of an experience when all you have to do is just sit down and talk and listen. And sure, you don't need to use great big words, but it's easy to use simple words. And then we can communicate. And we can do that oh so intuitively and operating from our knowing inside without having to think about it. So there's a difference. Thank you, Albert Einstein. And then I turned to one of our great teachers in contemporary. We all know who Deepak Chopra is, and he's provided so much wisdom. Here he says, synchronicity is choreographed by a great pervasive intelligence that lies at the heart of nature and is manifest in each of us through intuitive knowledge. I love this. He's talking about the incredible network of how everything works together and that infinite intelligence that goes through it all so that we have things outside that are growing of their own accord. Like those beautiful Pride of Barbados, the orange flowers that are right out in front. Do you think they need to sit back and go, okay, today I think orange. I'll bloom. I don't, no. Maybe I'll go blue today. No. It operates in the knowing of exactly what it needs to express. And it does it so beautifully. And the rain and the clouds and everything works together in our natural life. We sleep, we eat, we drink, we listen, we open our heart. We're complex beings made of basically the same material that a kumquat's made from. And yet, we have the power to understand and tell the difference between that knowing and this knowing, rather than just operating from the incredible, pervasive intelligence that is working in all. Thank you, Deepak. Then I turn back to Charles Fillmore, and he says, no man knows anything until he knows it in this thorough, instinctive way. It is true. Because when we really know something, we don't forget. It's our knowing. And we're not going to get anywhere if we don't find that knowing. If the knowing is, I love the water, then get in the water. If your knowing is, I don't love the water, then don't get in the water. Because when we live and move and have our being from our knowing, our life is in balance. We can face the challenges that come up because it's part of the journey. And it doesn't throw us so far off the road that we're stranded. Because see, if we're operating from this knowing, we're going to be able to address and handle anything that comes up in our life. And doesn't that sound good? Because certainly life is going to have all kinds of curriculum. And there's going to be great joy along the way. There's going to be others to do it with, but there's going to be opportunity for healing. There's going to be opportunity for learning. There's going to be opportunity for taking a step back, going, okay, now what? But if we come from this place within us of spiritual understanding, of our intuition and guidance, we will be guided to the next step. Now, we may not be given all the directions. I think God is a lot like Siri or the GPS or Waze, gives you one direction at a time. Because that's about all we can handle. Turn right in 1,000 feet. Now, if you don't turn right in 1,000 feet, you turn left in 1,500 feet, what happens? You gotta go around the block. And that's what our life is like. We're going to get direction. And we may not get the whole picture, but we're given what we need to do what is ours to do. That old prayer. Give us this day our daily bread. Now, a part of us wants a truckload. Just bring me all the bread. No. You get a day's worth of bread. And then guess what? Tomorrow you get another day's worth. Because you're going to be given what you can handle. And if you're given and you handle what's been given, you'll be given more. Because God takes care of those who take care of themselves. Thank you, Charles. And then Deepak Chopra continues to say, as intuition grows, the need to make problems and see complications starts to dwindle. Thank you, God! Now, you can probably imagine that when I create drama, I create big drama. Because I don't do anything small. Big old drama. So everyone will notice. Intuition and listening to that guidance and knowing is actually a pathway to find balance and not create more problems or complication for our lives. Now, I know I'm the only one that does this, but at least for you, you can see it's good news for me that I won't create any problems for myself. But if it's contagious and you ever find that you're creating problems for your life, you can go, thanks, Reverend Gary, I got the disease, but I know I can use intuition and guidance to steer me away from complicating my life. It's pretty simple. Last week, operating instructions were given. Read a little, meditate more, think about God all the time. This gives us solace because as we learn to have balance and learn to center in our knowing and understanding, we're going to be given what we needed, and all of the problems, all of the complications melt away. And we're given what's today to deal with. That doesn't mean every day is going to be easy. It does mean we're going to have everything we need to deal with whatever we need to today. And that's good news. And then I conclude this talk with this final quote from Charles Fillmore. He says, never say, I don't know, I don't understand. Claim your Christ understanding at all times and declare, I am not under any spell of human ignorance. I am one with infinite understanding. It's a very powerful commandment to say, I don't know. Because we've instantly shut ourselves off from having any part in it. Same thing with, I don't understand. It's not saying I'm willing to understand. I'm available to understand. I don't understand right now. So either remove these from your vocabulary, or when they spill out of your mouth, say, I don't know yet, but I'm sure willing to find out. Or, I don't understand, but I'm sure willing to understand. I wonder what the answer will be. I wonder. So as we open ourselves, we must come to this place that we know, if we don't know how we know, that we're one with infinite understanding. And by knowing that, we come home to being willing to be guided by that divine knowing. For God works through us by giving us intuition and guidance. And that's good news. And that also tells us why understanding is such a powerful tool to foster and honor in our lives. So let's take this thought, this idea, into meditation. As we settle in and maybe set down anything that we've brought with us, as we allow the Unity Singers to bring us into this now moment in song.
yourself away. Give yourself away. Give yourself away. Let go. Let go. Let go. Give yourself away. Give yourself away. Give yourself away. Give yourself away. Let go.
As we come together right now in this one moment, we surrender and let go. We let go of everything before this moment. We breathe deeply and we let go. This is our presencing, coming into wholeness right here, right now. All we need do is let go of our expectation. Let go of our fear. Let go of the past. Let go of the future. Become fully present now. This presence is the place where we can open ourselves to divine understanding. If it works for you to have a creative visualization, you might see a orange ball of energy, a gold ball of energy above your head. And allow that energy to drop in with each breath through your body as it relaxes and soothes and presences you to this now moment. Safe, awake, serene, peaceful, and whole. So let's breathe in these attributes of our spiritual understanding as we turn within and listen to our divine understanding here in this silence. As we emerge from this time in the silence, we feel gratitude for this pervasive intelligence that brings us into oneness. We let this love and this light and whatever knowing we have right now to resonate with our being. We acknowledge it, we embrace it, and then we prepare to bring ourselves back into this room by breathing, wiggling our fingers, wiggling our toes, might roll our head and our shoulders, and when you're ready, open your eyes. And then we'll say this affirmation for today's message together. I open myself to God to know the truth and listen to my intuition. And so it is.
Step out on the water.